In 2021, Chris Hemsworth set aside a few months of his life to film a documentary focused on his passion for physical and mental challenges in different parts of the world. And it was during the shooting of this documentary that he discovered something that would change his life forever. In this video, you'll understand the life-changing moment Chris Hemsworth is going through after learning about his genetic predisposition to Alzheimer's and what we can expect from him going forward in his acting career. During the filming of his documentary series, Limitless, which was produced by National Geographic, Hemsworth discovered that he carries 2 copies of the APOE4 gene, a rare combination. Chris inherited the gene from both his mother and father, which significantly increases his risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. As you may know, Alzheimer's is a progressive neurodegenerative disease that affects memory, thinking, and behavior, and it's the most common cause of dementia. Hemsworth now faces an 8 in 10 chance of developing the disease in the future. This revelation came as a major shock to him and his family.
Our memories are supposed to last forever. They're what shapes us and makes us who we are.
Good shot, son. Good shot.
The idea that I won't be able to remember the life I've experienced, or my wife, my kids. This is probably our biggest fear.
But at the very moment he found out, the doctor told him something even more surprising. You might not believe me now, but discovering this is actually a blessing. What the doctor meant was that, by learning about this condition at age 38, Chris has the chance to make lifestyle changes that could reduce his risk of developing the disease to the level of an average person. And that's when Chris Hemsworth's true transformation began. Chris has always been someone who cared about his physical health. From a young age, he practiced surfing, a popular sport in his home country. On top of that, he was already training in boxing and lifting weights even before starting his acting career at 19. But now, at 41 years old, taking care of his mind is something entirely new for him. According to neurologist Dr. Sharon Shaw, who Chris consulted, the brain actually begins to degenerate after age 30. That's why focusing on brain health shouldn't start at 60, because Alzheimer's can begin developing 15 to 20 years before the first symptoms of memory loss appear. That's why Chris is now focused on stimulating his neural connections and building his neuroplasticity, so that over time, his cognitive function improves. From what I've researched, it's actually quite common for neurologists to say that exercising the brain is essential to help prevent Alzheimer's. But here's the thing. Some people often comment on my videos saying no one cares when regular folks go through the same struggles as celebrities, or that if it happened to a working class person, they'd be screwed. And in this case, well, the way Chris is going about exercising his brain is definitely far from ordinary, to say the least. To start with, Dr. Shaw wanted him to break out of his usual routine and do a kind of tech detox. So she sent him to survive in the wilderness with an indigenous tribe and find his way back home without GPS or any kind of technology. All of it was designed to create new neural connections and strengthen his brain.
A little more challenging now the sun's completely disappeared.
Well, if we look around, where's the brightest part of the sky? Just there.
It's either a sun or it's a spaceship tipping us the sun. So north, west, we want to sort of head this way.
Yeah, I reckon.
The process of figuring out the right direction to go in is one of the most complex tasks our brains can perform.
In the documentary, Chris recalls that his grandfather had Alzheimer's and how difficult it was in his final years as his memory continued to deteriorate. According to Chris, the most painful moments were when his grandfather would suddenly become lucid again and panic because he had no idea where he was or who the people around him were. That's why Chris is deeply motivated to avoid the same fate. He knows firsthand how devastating it can be, not just for the person going through it, but for the whole family. From now on, his routine includes keeping his brain active with new, challenging tasks, continuing his physical training, following a healthy diet, and improving his sleep quality. Dr. Peter Attia, a longevity expert, also advised him to expose his body to extreme temperatures through saunas and ice baths, and to reduce daily stress through practices like meditation, mindfulness, and breath work. After publicly revealing his genetic predisposition at the end of 2022, Chris took the year 2023 off to focus on his health and spend time with his family. He had spent 10 straight years working on multiple projects, including the Marvel films, so he felt it was time to pause, breathe, surf, take his kids to school, and be more present for his wife. But what happened next was a wave of sensationalist headlines claiming he had permanently retired, some even making it sound like he had received a death sentence. That turned out to be the perfect test to see if mindfulness and meditation really work. The final result? It didn't. He got stressed out anyway. The break was simply a chance to better balance his career with his health. But still, a lot of people believed the rumors that he was quitting acting for good. There was one comment, though, that Chris said had him laughing out loud. A woman wrote, "I hope he forgets he was going to retire and goes back to acting." In the end, the biggest lesson Chris Hemsworth took from all of this is that no one is invincible in life. That's why he decided to slow down and start appreciating the little moments. He now lives in Byron Bay, Australia, with his wife and their 3 children. Chris has already stated that he plans to take a different direction in his career, both with Thor in the Marvel Universe and with the roles he chooses moving forward. In an exclusive interview with GQ magazine in 2023, he said he began questioning his life and the meaning behind what he does. He asked himself whether he was truly doing enough, or if he had just settled into a comfort zone. In case you didn't know, Chris considers himself a physical actor, not just because he's 6 feet 3 inches and over 200 pounds of solid muscle, which, in some cases, was the main reason he landed certain roles, but because when he talks about acting, he often uses sports terminology. Throughout his career, he's put his body through extreme situations to fully embody his roles. But now, with a new perspective on life, he wants to build a legacy through his work, one that he and others can look back on and see as meaningful. And to do that, he's ready to push himself further as an actor. His roles in Furiosa and Spiderhead, where he plays the villain in both stories, are proof of this new challenge he's taking on in his career. And he wants to bring that new mindset to Thor as well. Chris mentioned that his kids didn't like Thor Love and Thunder. They gave him a hard time about it for weeks. He eventually agreed with them, saying the movie ended up being too silly and predictable. If he's going to return as the God of Thunder, he wants it to be with a fresh, new approach. As of now, the next Thor movie doesn't have a release date or production start scheduled. At the moment, Chris is working on the film Crime 101, where he plays Davis, a jewel thief. The movie also stars Mark Ruffalo as a detective, and it's set to premiere on Prime Video in 2025. Thanks so much for watching all the way through. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to leave a like and drop a comment below. Are you a fan of Chris Hemsworth, or not really into him?
Your fellow Avenger, Chris Evans, has been named Sexiest Man Alive.
Yeah.
An honor you've held as well in the past.
Yeah, it's the passing of the torch, isn't it?
I would imagine you're very proud of him, yeah? I mean...
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
he's indeed a sexy man. So well done, you know?
You are on the inside of the magazine with the sexiest dog.
Oh, the sexiest dog.
Alive.
Look at that. Hey you, yes, you. Today is your day. You got this. You're absolutely crushing it at everything you do, from your job to maintaining a social life to pursuing your passion project. You are killing it. Ignore anyone who tells you otherwise, because you're amazing.
Thanks again, and I see you soon.